What is up, Party Jet Sports? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back, Jets fans. We are, like a week and some change away from the NFL draft. It's quickly approaching, and I think we've gotten to the point, at least for me personally, gotten to the point where it's like, all right, it's been dragging a little bit. It feels like I know once the draft gets here, it's going to be gone. And it's going to be like, damn, what do we have to look forward to for the next couple months? But still, like, I'm just ready for the draft. I'm just ready to see how everything plays out, how the board breaks, who goes where. Like, I'm just ready for that. All these mock drafts, you can only do so many mock drafts, which is why I've limited the amount of mock drafts I've done. Especially, like, I really only planned on doing one Jets mock draft because a lot changes and it's kind of hard to keep up with certain things and you don't want to repeat yourself. So I'm not that I want the draft to just end, but I want the draft to get here because I'm excited about the draft. You know, it's a fun time of year. It's one of the most fun things about being an NFL fan is the NFL draft. It's the most exciting part of the offseason. So we are, again, a week and some change away from the NFL draft. So today what I'm going to do is my 2025 New York Jets mock draft. I'm going to break it down. A couple of these, I mean, the Jets have like 8 picks as it stands today. So they're definitely sitting pretty with what they have. You like where they're sitting with pick 7 to start. And, sorry, just making sure I have everything pulled up. It's a decent spot because with the players that are in this draft, you're still going to get a quality talent. You're still going to get a good player. You know, if a Mason Graham goes before you, if a Armand Membu goes before you, like if there's a guy, if you like Will Campbell, if he goes before 7, like there's still other fallback options. There's good fallback options. Tyler Warren probably being up there. And let's just get right into this now. With that 7th overall pick, it's going to come down to 3 things. It's going to be who is there, and I'd rank it. Mason Graham, he'd be the top choice. If he falls to 7, which I don't think he will, but if he does, I think that one's a no-brainer. You know, he's going to be the best player on the board, best player available at that point, and he's going to really help solidify that defense next to Quinnen Williams. But that's not what I have going on here. I think he's going to go. So then you're looking, the way I'm doing this mock draft, you will have your choice of either Armand Membu or Tyler Warren. It's going to be one of those two. And it's very reminiscent of last year. Very reminiscent of last year. So it's like, what do you do? Do you go with the flashy player, the flashy tight end, or do you help shore up the offensive line? I mean, you could draft a Armand Membu and you look good. You have your edges on the offensive line set for the next decade, hopefully. Or you get a Pro Bowl caliber tight end. In the past, I keep going back and forth on what I think the Jets are going to do here. I think Connor Rogers with Badlands has been the best at outlining how this decision should be made. Do you trust and do you like the depth of this tackle class to where you think with pick 42, you can get a starting right tackle? Or somebody that's going to come in and compete for that starting job? If both these guys are there, if Armand Membu's there, that's the conversation you have to have. Do you feel you can get a starting right tackle the way you've evaluated this class? Can you get one at pick 42? If you can't, you got to take the tackle here at 7. If you can, you hold off. I think the Jets' first year under this new regime, you want to get it right. You want to have your future quarterback, if that be Justin Fields, or if it be somebody you take in 2026, set up for success. So with the 7th overall pick in the NFL draft, I have the New York Jets taking Armand Membou, the right tackle out of Missouri. And that's what he's going to be. He is the best right tackle in this class. Overall offensive lineman is debatable. It just kind of depends on where you rank Will Campbell, how you have him. If you think he's going to tackle guard, where you think he's going to play. If you think Will Campbell is a tackle, then, there's an argument for him to be the best tackle in this class. But pure right tackle, that's where Armand Membou's strength is. And that's the one weakness, that's the one hole that we've got on our offensive line. So Armand Membou fills that hole with the 7th overall pick, and now you're looking to take your tight end later. I do think there's going to be at least one tight end that just taken this draft. We'll get to that a little bit later on, because it is a deep tight end class. Touched on it a couple different times. Do they take the tight end at pick 42? Well, let's look at it. With the 42nd overall pick, you could take a Mason Taylor out of LSU. There's a lot of options available, and again, it comes down to how the board breaks. The way the board broke when I did my mock draft is how I determine some of these. Like, there's a chance that who I took here at 42 isn't even there. He could be a first-round pick. But there could be like an Xavier Watts available. I am not leaning towards tight end or offensive weapon here, and I really wanted to. I could have taken, maybe a Jaden Higgins out of Iowa State, Alec Manor out of Stanford. There was a couple different guys that I thought of offensive weapon-wise, but the Jets have a hole on that defensive front, and you need depth. They need bodies. They need to help Quinton Williams out to make everything a little bit better. And Tyleik Williams, the defensive tackle out of Ohio State, was the best player on the board when I had this mock draft. He was the best player on the board. He does fill a need. It's a quiet need, but it is a need. So you take the best player available with Tyleik Williams, and you still bank on this deep tight end class and being able to get one later. So with that 2nd round pick, I'm leaning Tyleik Williams. So the first 2 draft picks of the Muji and Glenn regime is in the trenches. And I think that's going to say a lot if they do this. It's going to say a lot about how they want to design this team and run this program. They mentioned it before. They are going to want to implement a down-your-throat, ground-and-pound system. Okay? It's going to be difficult to stop the Jets. You're going to be on your knees pleading and begging, like, please stop. I'm going to get clipped. That's a clip. That's a whole 30-second TikTok clip, and I'm about to get canceled for that shit. But they're going to want to build this in the trenches. That's kind of what the Lions did. And especially on the offensive side. Defensive side, you can make your case either way, but Glenn's going to want his guys up front. And you look at those Bill Parcells years that Aaron Glenn's trying to remake, it's a lot of down your throat. I don't know how you would do that without making it look subjective. I'm leaning towards building up the trenches. Yes, I love the sexy picks. I love wide receivers, tight ends, guys that score points. But it's like when you have a cake or brownies. It's like whenever you make your brownies or your cookies, right? You can't eat that shit raw. You have to build. You have to make the ingredients. You have to make sure it's good before you can enjoy it. You have to put the right ingredients in there. You have to make sure you have the right amount of flour, chocolate chips, all the other ingredients. I don't know how to make cookies, okay? I've watched other people make cookies. I don't know what the fuck is all in that batter right there. But the point is, you need to build the dough, or to have the cookie, you need to make the dough. You need to perfect that before you can actually enjoy it. You need the ingredients. I'm just going in circles at this point. Point being, before you can have fun, before you can enjoy yourself, You have to have the right pieces in place. That's where we were getting to. You can't enjoy the cookie until the right pieces are in place to have that cookie be made and then cooked and all that fun stuff. But maybe not my best analogy. I can do better, I know. But before you can have those fun picks, let's build this thing right. Let's build those trenches and then spread it out, because you ultimately win up front. The Eagles, best example. They just won a Super Bowl because they built that shit up front. This is why I'm not on the radio anymore. Holy crap, that's like 3 or 4 curse words in like 3 minutes there. I apologize, children, if there's any audience members that are not a fan of my profanity. But build it into the trenches, and then you can have those fun picks, and that's where we start. Round 3. Okay, so this is where the tight end goes. Now it's just, again, a matter of what tight end is going to be available. Mason Taylor's gone, and I haven't really been taking Mason Taylor in some of my drafts. That's just a preference of mine. Gunnar Helm has been a favorite. Elijah Arroyo. You could take Terrence Ferguson. I'm probably butchering like Arroyo out of Miami, his name. Most people that know me, okay, Maction. It's Maction. I'm going with the best tight end in the nation. The best in the nation. And Harold Fannin Jr. led the country in most tight end categories. He's a playmaker. He's, just get him out in space. He's not going to be Brock Bowers. Probably not going to be Tyler Warren. He's going to be more of a glorified slot at times. But that's fine. You just need a good tight end. In modern NFL offenses, you just need to have a good tight end. And I think Harold Fannin can do that. He had 2 choices. He was not going to return to Bowling Green, though it probably would have been fun for him to play with Eddie George. He had 2 choices. Enter the NFL draft, or he was going to be a highly sought-out transfer portal player that could be acquired. And I think he made the right decision declaring for the NFL draft. He is good enough to be a second-round pick, but I think the MAC, the Bowling Green, that pedigree or the lack thereof is going to hurt him. So he's going to drop. And I think he's going to fall right into the Jets' hands with that 3rd-round pick. So 73 overall, give me Harold Fannin Jr., the tight end out of Bowling Green. And yes, there's some that might be like, oh, you took a Bowling Green player? Yeah, because of action. Action, baby. Yes. Don't hate the helmet. Respect the conference, though, okay? I will not stand here and listen to any MAC hate. But Harold Fannin Jr. he's a fun tight end. He's going to be a good piece in this offense. He's going to get fed a lot, too, by Justin Fields. And the Jets have a desperate need at tight end. You're looking at Jeremy Ruckert being the starter right now, and he hasn't shown anything to date. So Harold Fannin Jr. can slide right into the starting role, and I think he can produce day one. Once we start getting into these later rounds, you're taking a lot of swings, a lot of dart throws, maybe some special teams here. But Jalen Reed, the safety out of Penn State, is more my 4th-round selection. You're looking at a guy that, he's a little he's aggressive, okay? And that's going to hurt him at times. But I think Aaron Glenn's the type of guy that's willing to take a risk on an aggressive player. You look at the safeties they had in Detroit. Cam will go out and tell you that they're dirty players. They're aggressive players. That's what Aaron Glenn kind of likes, and Jalen Reed fits the bill. They need safety. I mean, he could come in as a 4th-round pick and maybe compete to be the starter next to Andre Sisco. Like, the Jets, we have a big hole at safety. We probably need a couple additions. More than just the one. So, Jalen Reed, not going to touch too much on that pick, but they need safety. You're looking at what you have available, and that's not a bad spot. So, the first 4 picks offense, defense, offense, defense. Let's go back to the offensive side of the ball. We're pick 145. There's been a lot of rumors about the Jets looking to take a quarterback in this year's class. If they do, which I wouldn't be surprised, they probably should take a flyer on one. It's going to be here probably day 3. You're probably looking here in that 4th round or so. 4th, 5th, like this range is where you're looking to draft your quarterback. So who's available? Well, later, I mean, Tyler Shaw is starting to fly up draft boards. I'm butchering names left and right over here. He's flying up draft boards there, so he probably won't be there. Will Howard will be interesting. Do not touch Quinn Ewers. And, I mean, there's really Seth Hennigan. There's not a lot of good names in this class. I'm not a fan of this quarterback class at all. If a Jackson Dart or a Jalen Milroe fall this far, you definitely take that. I don't think they are. They should be 3rd-round picks. And you know what? Honestly, if either of those 2 guys are there round 3, I'd consider it over Fannin. I'd consider it. But I just wait. You know, you're rolling into this year with Justin Fields, Tyrod Taylor. You feel okay about that room. But let's still add a quarterback, and that quarterback is going to be the guy out of Syracuse, Kyle McCord. And as an Ohio State fan, kind of 50-50 on how I feel about this. You know, it's a tough subject. It's a little bittersweet. Because it would have been a lot nicer for him to have the success he did at Syracuse with us at Ohio State and have that type of year. I mean, maybe we win the Natty still with him. We'll never know. But I'm happy for Kyle McCord that he was able to thrive in Syracuse and he was able to put up the numbers that he did. You let him sit, you know, that's the type of guy you take a flyer on. He could be a solid backup, maybe coming in to win you a couple games. Like, that could be the career he has. He has a good arm, decent build. He's not the most mobile guy. He's more of a prototypical passer, like a pocket guy. So that's the kind of guy that you probably take here later. A little bit more Jared Goff-esque, which is what, you know, Tanner Angstrand's used to, is that Jared Goff-esque quarterback. So that's kind of who I like here. These next 3 picks, again, this is where you're looking at depth, special teams, that range. And you're looking, maybe you take a flyer on a guy that could fill a role later on, like linebacker. So Kyle McCord was a former Ohio State player. Here at pick 162, let's take a guy that did win a national championship with the Ohio State Buckeyes this year, Cody Simon. He fell. I mean, this is probably about the range he goes. He's not the biggest linebacker. He's not going to be a downhill threat. He's more a smart guy. So he's not the flashy linebacker. He uses his mind, not manipulative, but he's more intelligent driven, where that's where he's going to win, is by what's going on up here and not what's going on here. Okay. But you're looking at the linebacker room, and you probably would like to get a couple bodies in there. Quincy Williams, there's a good chance he's going to be showing the door. He's going to need a new contract here soon, and he's going to want to get paid, similar to what Sherwood got paid. Can't blame him. That's just the case. So you take a flyer on a guy here, day 3. Cody Simon's not a bad player to have. So linebacker, out of Ohio State, Cody Simon. At pick 186, I want to throw more darts at the offensive line. The Jets have struggled to find competent backup, middle-of-the-road offensive linemen beyond day 2 of the draft. And most good NFL teams are able to find an offensive lineman that can play. The Jets just haven't been able to do that. So I want to take more, I want to more darts or throw more darts at that board when it comes to offensive linemen. And no better place to look for an offensive lineman than in the Big Ten, in Iowa. So here I'm taking guard Connor Colby out of Iowa. And again, this is just a depth piece. Maybe you can develop him into a starter. And if you're looking for an offensive lineman to take this late, why not start with a guy that's coming out of a program that builds and creates offensive linemen the way Iowa does? I mean, that's kind of what they're known for, right? So this late, that's what you lean into. With the last pick in the draft here, pick 207. This is again, special team. If he starts games, it's either he's doing really damn good, and that's impressive, and we love that, or you got a lot of bad shit going on. A lot of bad juju, a lot of something. So here, this is kind of where I usually make my fun picks, guys that I just want to see get drafted. And this was kind of the range that this player was falling. Like, he's kind of a top 220 player. I think he was ranked 220 overall by Pro Football Network. Just want to make sure. He was ranked 220. So pick 207. You're not, whatever. Reach. I don't care. It's not like I'm taking a guy that's barely top 250 here. So out of the University of Toledo, safety Maxon Hook. This guy is going to be like maybe an Ashton Davis type replacement. A little quicker. Not a guy, I mean, he can tackle a little bit. He's smaller. So that's why he's dropping down this far. But Maxon Hook here, worth a flyer. He could be a good special teams contributor. And if he can be anything similar to Ashton Davis, this late in the draft, you kind of take that as a win. So I just had to get my Toledo guy in here, especially after getting a Bowling Green guy. I had to have a Toledo guy, and Maxon Hook just kind of fits what the Jets need, because like I said earlier, when they took Jalen Reed in this mock, they need safeties. They need bodies. They need defensive backs. So Glenn has a good history of being able to develop those guys. So why not take a couple here? So let's recap this mock draft. With the first pick, the Jets drafted Armand Membu, the right tackle, specifically out of Missouri. With their second round selection, instead of going with an offensive weapon, the Jets opt to continue building that front seven, or staying up front, building in the trenches, and draft Tyleik Williams out of the Ohio State University. With the third round, that's when the Jets grabbed their weapon in tight end Harold Fannin Jr. out of Bowling Green. In the fourth round, the Jets continue to add to their defense out of the secondary with safety Jalen Reed, the guy out of Penn State, safety. The Jets then get a quarterback in this draft with pick 145, Colin McCord being that guy out of Syracuse. Cody Simon is pick 162, linebacker out of Ohio State. Pick 186, Connor Colby, offensive lineman out of Iowa. And then with their final selection in this draft, pick 207, the New York Jets take Maxon Hook, safety out of the University of Toledo. Go Rockets, baby. So that is my New York Jets mock draft. Again, I had no trades. It's really difficult to guess trades and everything like that, so I don't include trades very often. There's going to be movement. The Jets probably don't keep all these picks. I'll be shocked if they don't either move up or down the board, especially like third, fourth, fifth round is when I'm really going to start looking for that sort of movement. But you know what? You don't know how Darren Muji is going to see the board. You don't know what his style is going to be like, what he does. So that's going to be one thing I'm really interested in, is seeing how they navigate the board and kind of what their strategy is and what this draft is going to tell us about the guys running this team. So that's it. That's my New York Jets mock draft. That's probably the last Jets thing I'm going to put out too until until the draft. So we'll get a lot more other content though here at Party Chat Sports, and we have other content for you to check out. I had a full first round mock draft put up sometime last week. Drew had a Cowboys mock draft, a couple actually mock drafts for the Cowboys in that one. Dylan, same thing for the Steelers. Hope and Cam's able to put out a Vikings mock draft. We get like no Vikings content, so hopefully we're able to get that here on the feed at Party Chat Sports. My hope is that we get a group mock draft in, at least one more group episode before the draft next week. But again, we are a week and like a day by the time this drops away from the NFL draft. So let's have some fun. Let's kind of enjoy this process for as much as we can. It's going to be quick, but I'm ready. I'm ready for the NFL draft, and I hope you are as well. Make sure you continue to tune to the feed. Stay tuned to the feed. I am struggling with words here tonight, ladies and gentlemen, but stay tuned to the feed here at Party Chat Sports, and continue to follow us on YouTube, on Twitter, TikTok, wherever you get your podcasts, anywhere and everywhere, all Party Chat Sports. Until next time, JETS. Peace.